Welcome back to another explainer. Right now, we are standing on the edge of a quiet but absolutely massive technological revolution. Seriously, it's happening right under our noses. For the last couple of years, the whole world has been totally captivated by artificial intelligence. But let's be honest, we've mostly been talking about it as just a really smart chatbot. Well, what we're going to explore today, based on current industry developments targeting the year 2026, is a paradigm shift that goes way, way beyond just chatting. We are talking about the potential end of the software interface as we know it.
Okay, let's dive into this. I really want you to sit with a pretty provocative question for a second. What if the apps you use every single day simply disappear within the next decade? Think about it. No more clicking a specific little icon for your email, another one for your calendar, jumping over to another app to book a flight, and yet another to edit a document. It sounds kind of like science fiction, right? But the reality is that the entire tech industry is currently pivoting away from building standalone applications. Instead, they're quietly laying the groundwork for entire AI operating systems. We're investigating a future where you don't actually use software anymore. Your AI uses the software for you.
Just think about how you work right now. You probably suffer from what we call the swivel chair problem. You're physically or digitally swiveling between a dozen different applications just to complete a single project. You're copying data from a spreadsheet, pasting it into an email, checking your calendar app to find a date, and then updating a project management tool. It is exhausting, and honestly, it's highly inefficient. Now, I want you to imagine a radically different workday. Imagine an AI agent performing those dozens of tasks across all those different platforms without you ever opening a single application. You literally just state your goal, and the AI works across the entire digital ecosystem to make it happen.
To understand how incredibly fast this is approaching, we just need to look at the timeline. In 2022, ChatGPT launched and basically kicked off this massive AI hype cycle. From 2023 to 2025, we've been living in the era of AI assistants. Now, they're incredibly smart, but they are passive. They just sit there and wait for you to ask them a question, and then they generate an answer. But look at 2026. This is where the hype era ends and the execution era begins. This is when AI begins executing tasks. We're shifting from an AI that tells you how to do something to an AI that actually just does it for you.
And this brilliantly illustrates the vital difference we're talking about here. We are witnessing the shift from the chatbot era to the agent era. The chatbot is essentially an oracle. You ask, it answers, but it's trapped in a chat box. An agentic AI, however, acts on our behalf. It isn't just spitting out generated text, it's actually executing complex workflows. It has the agency to open your accounting software, pull a specific report, draft an invoice, and send it to a client totally autonomously. It's literally the exact difference between asking someone for a recipe and having a personal chef step into your kitchen and cook the entire meal for you. Because the stakes here are so astronomically high, there is a massive invisible war currently happening behind the scenes. Every single major tech giant is fighting for the exact same prize. They want to become the ultimate operating layer between you and your software. Microsoft is embedding agentic AI deeply into Windows and Office. OpenAI is desperately trying to evolve beyond just being a chat interface. Google is linking up its entire enterprise ecosystem so its AI can fetch data from your Docs, Drive, and Gmail seamlessly. Apple is re-engineering Siri with deep device integration so it can literally control the apps right on your phone. And NVIDIA, well, they're pushing for completely AI-native computers built entirely from the ground up.
Now, what's truly staggering is the sheer scale of the economics underlying this race. You simply can't run an autonomous AI agent on a standard 2015 laptop. It requires massive infrastructure spending. You can think of this as building the new digital railroads of the 21st century. This huge demand for specialized processing has led to hardware and chip shortages, and massive expansions in data centers and cloud competition. These agents require vast amounts of computing power to constantly monitor, reason, and act in real time. And this is exactly why NVIDIA, the company making these specific chips required for all this heavy lifting, has skyrocketed to become one of the most important and valuable companies in the entire world. They are the ones selling the steel for these new railroads.
Let's move along and see how this builds on everything we've done before. Because to really understand why these companies are spending billions, we have to look at the history of computing. In the 1970s, we had the command line era, right? You had to memorize all these specific codes just to make a computer do basic things. The 1980s brought the graphical user interface, or GUI. Suddenly, we got folders, a mouse, and visual windows. The 1990s connected those windows to the world with the internet. The 2000s shrank that whole experience down into our pockets with the smartphone era. And now, moving into 2026 and beyond, we enter the AI agent era. This connection to the past is absolutely crucial. Each technological wave we just looked at radically changed human behavior. When the graphical user interface was invented, we stopped typing arcane commands and started clicking icons. When the smartphone came along, we stopped sitting at physical desks to look at the internet and started tapping glass while walking down the street. The shift to AI agents is the inevitable next step in that progression. Just as we stop typing commands, we're soon going to stop manually clicking through individual apps. The interface itself will become invisible. You'll simply speak or type your intent, and the agent will handle all the friction of the software underneath.
So the crucial point is, what does this all actually mean for our jobs and our society? If we look at this objectively, without all the usual sensationalism, there are some very distinct opportunities, but also some very real risks. On one hand, we're looking at huge boosts to worker productivity. Seamless automation of workflows means we can finally focus on creative, high-level strategy rather than mindless data entry. It's absolutely going to create new career opportunities. But on the flip side, we have to acknowledge reality. Repetitive tasks will disappear entirely, which means certain jobs will absolutely be displaced. Plus, there are huge risks regarding AI reliability, like what happens when an autonomous agent makes a costly mistake with a client's money. And perhaps most concerning, there are massive security, privacy, and power concentration issues if only 2 or 3 megacorporations control the agents that run our entire lives. To put all this into perspective, let's ground this by imagining a highly plausible workday a few years from now, let's say 2030. You wake up and your AI agent has already coordinated your schedule, filtered out the spam, and prioritized your daily communications. You have a meeting at 10 a.m. Without you even asking, the agent has researched the needed data, pulling from your company's internal systems, recent emails, and public news platforms to synthesize a customized brief for you. During the meeting, you agree on a new project direction. You simply tell your agent, hey, get this started. The agent then executes the software tasks directly. It sets up the project management board, assigns tasks to your team members, and drafts the initial budget spreadsheet. It's a total game changer. You manage the outcome, the AI managed the software.
And that brings us to a really thought-provoking reality to close out today's explainer. As one technologist brilliantly noted, the most important technology revolution may not be a new app, a new device, or even a new AI model. It may be the moment computers stop waiting for instructions and start acting on our behalf. We are literally moving from tools that we use to partners that act. So as you go about your day-to-day, pay attention to how much time you spend just clicking menus, moving data around, and fighting with software interfaces. And ask yourself, what are you going to do with all that time when the apps finally disappear? Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.